Welcome to the presentation of the Arizona Trail Expedition. An expedition is a journey with a purpose. Our purpose was to explore our relationship to ourselves, each other, and the more than human world by partnering with equines on the Arizona Trail. On August 25th, 2009, 7 students, 2 logisticians, 2 instructors, 9 horses, and 3 mules came together to co-create a learning environment. This slideshow is about our thoughts and experiences as we traveled, played, explored local resources, questioned, and learned together over 400 miles in 90 days. In a moment, we'll begin our slideshow, which will include poetry we wrote as a group, questions that were explored and that we continue to explore, and select stories from the trail. The slideshow begins with our preparations at Chauncey Ranch. What does it take to begin?
Yellow, growing from the sun I find my shovel.
Yellow, I am yellow.
I was green.
Layers falling away, laughter we've never heard before, canyons, creases.
Commit. What is it like to begin?
Laughter we've never heard before.
Beginning is the end. Frightening, frightening.
To begin is to end.
It's time. Beginning is also ending.
Awe-inspiring experience. It doesn't feel like we just began. Not sure how we know it, we just do.
It doesn't feel like we just began. It feels like we just are.
Not sure how we know it.
Awe-inspiring experience without recognition.
Awareness is heightened, and I'm grateful for the people a part of this expedition. Watching things unfold as on a screen.
Grateful for the people on this expedition. I'm so grateful for the people on this expedition.
Spinning, recognize their ability to mix.
Waiting, this wild way in which we are alive.
Dizziness, even in silence. Stirring things up, recognizing the ability to mix.
Moving forward with faith, we continue starting. Dare mighty things.
Moving forward with faith, satellites that don't work. Continue starting.
I really hate yellow, those artificial bananas.
Artificial banana, no bueno.
What does it take to begin? Certain moments pop out like balloons against the blue sky, like the night of brownies on the north rim of the Grand Canyon, that final indulgence of 2% of the following: chocolate, bad jokes, laughter, and eggs, before Mary and I decided to go vegan for the trip. And Phantom Ranch, that late night we arrived at the bottom of the canyon. It was how the smell of sweet and hearty spaghetti sauce spilled out from the small reservation-only kitchen. Travelers' voices emerged from down the trail and across Bright Angel Creek as the bright, crisp stars filled the canyon with dim white light. We passed the warm bustle of this strange and endearing ranch, that final destination for so many, and settled down into our own camp with a single metal bar to tie up the mules, U-Haul, Ryder, and Mary Beth, and our one-horse representative, Hardy. One by one, we slid off our boots and exposed our naked, stinking, hot, and blistered dogs to the cool night sky. It looked as if Mary were growing translucent ping-pong balls from the sides of her feet. Thank God there was that water trough. Not just for watering the horses, though. It made the perfect foot bath. Who knew that sitting with our feet in slightly dirty water, talking about that hot 14-mile day from the top of the canyon to the bottom, could be so perfect? It's funny what reminds me that everything's gonna be okay, and that life is cracking open with dark chocolate. if you're willing to just stick out your tongue.
On September 29th, south of the Grand Canyon and about 60 miles north of Flagstaff, our trip changed significantly. It was a windy day out in the open juniper and scrub ranch land. Between the wind, the small group of cows, and the occasional elk, the horses were somewhat frisky. So at lunch we had a conversation about how important it was to be focused, to pay attention when riding. I remember saying something like, just because you're sitting on a horse doesn't mean you're riding one. After lunch, I stepped up on Pam's horse, Crowfeather, a Spanish Mustang from New Mexico. We were standing, waiting for everyone to be ready to go, when something spooked Crow. I never knew what it was, but he went straight into a gallop. I settled into my seat a little deeper and held on for a ride. When I picked up the reins to stop, Crow slammed on the brakes, ducked his right shoulder, a perfect exit ramp. I hit hard and knew immediately that this one was going to hurt for a while. Later that night, at the Flagstaff emergency room, we learned that I had cracked 7 ribs. For the group, my accident meant reducing the number of horses traveling with us by sending 4 back to Prescott, and deciding to take time for more than just traveling, but to carve out more time in the schedule for academics, reflection, play, and personal time. For me, the fall meant I would be walking for over a month before being able to step back up on a horse. It meant changing my expectations and needing to find my own balance and perspective over my own 2 feet.